Hi everyone, Connie Mortz here, team leader of the Glistening Divas and national director with Pure Romance and also part of the senior board of directors with Pure Romance. Today we're going to talk about managing your calendar. So when you're at a party and someone wants to book a party with you, do you give them your full calendar, like here, pick a date? Okay, I hope not. Because one of the great benefits of being in Pure Romance and as a Pure Romance consultant is that you really get to make your own hours. You really have the flexibility to work around your schedule, your kids' schedule, and everything. So what I suggest for you is to not give them your full calendar, and don't make the same mistake I did whenever I first started. Because if you give them your calendar, they get to control your schedule, and that's not the point of this. Is that you really want to work this business around your schedule, around the times that that you're available as well, especially work around your kids' schedule and activities. So in the COO, there is an open date card that you can download and mark off the dates that you are not able to do a party or able to work. But I have used this one for years before I've seen the one in the COO. I put mine on bright paper. Bright, okay? So whenever I have my date book out, I can easily just take this out instead of trying flipping through to find a sheet of paper, because I usually have other sheets of paper in my date book too. So mine is a bright colored one. So it just changes, depends on what kind of color I have. And I actually print 2 on 1 sheet of paper, as you can see. So you really want to book about 4 to 6 weeks out. And you don't really want to book too further out into that, because usually then hostesses could forget. And then if you happen to lose something, it can be kind of chaotic. And really you want to book those parties now versus later. So I'm half and half, because usually there's 4 weeks in a month. So when I give them my open date calendar to pick a date for their party, I hand it to the month that I want them to have the party. And if it doesn't seem to work, then we flip it over to the next month, okay? But this is the only options that they get. They don't book further out than that. They will book on the dates that you have open. You are in demand, and if they could only do a Saturday, they will let you know that Saturday is the only day that they are able to do it. But if they are flexible and they're able to do it during the week, they will book it during the week as well. So, so giving them this as your tool. If you look on here really quick, so like in March, you see that I have these black bold X's, and they're always on Sundays. I personally do not do parties on Sundays. That is my family day. That is the only day of the whole entire week that I physically spend all day with my family. I don't work on any of my Pure Romance business or anything like that. So it is just strictly me and my family, okay? You'll see here, like also in March, it says Pure Romance World Conference. Obviously, those are the dates I'm not going to be able to do a party either, because it says I'm going to be in Orlando, Florida, right? Okay. But this also lets them know, oh my gosh, you're going to Orlando? That's awesome. Also kind of lets them know more about the business as well, okay? Any holidays I kind of put on there too. So I have uploaded this document in our Facebook group under files. You can download it, you can change the date and whatever. It's in a Word document, so all you gotta do is like insert a picture. So just like I had done with a Happy Easter on there. So same thing with April. You'll see that all of my Sundays are X'd. These are my non-negotiable dates. It's a black X for a reason, so that way they know, oh, X is the days that I cannot do it. I already have something previous there for my family or whatever things that I have going on. And that will also take a little bit of pressure off of me, because I don't necessarily like to say no. And that's how I got to do about 9 parties a week when I first started. Because I couldn't say no, and I didn't have this, so I literally let them take reign of my calendar. As you can tell, with 9 parties a week, that's 7, 8, 9. So usually 2 on Saturday and 2 on Sundays. I never got to see my family. So I implemented this, and then usually when they see that, they will respect you, and they'll be like, oh, okay, all right, let's find a different date then. So I did this as a way for that, okay? And then as parties get booked, then what you can do, like, oh, okay, how about April the 5th? Then what I do is you can take your pencil. This is an erasable pen. The neatest thing ever. By the way, it's called Frixon Clicker. So it is by Pilot. It has one of these little rubber eraser things, and these are actually erasable pens that actually work, like for real, for work. They have it in different colors. I use red in my date book. I use blue for my kids' activity. I have black just in case I run out of red. I don't like to have too many colors or too many pens because then I'm like, ah! So, but in my date book, as you can see, there's red. I would like to show you that I do use the blue. So like in January, you see the blue. It says, you can't really read my scribble, but it says Southwest City at RC right here. That means my son has a basketball game that day. And then we had eye appointments earlier that day too. So, so that day is physically just for that. And I usually transfer them over on here as well. I don't put them as a black X because games do get canceled, and weather does happen, things do happen. But my absolutely non-negotiable ones I have printed on here, and then I go back and be like, okay, so let me go into March. I already have some dates booked in March. So I have the 5th in the afternoon. I actually have 2 on the 12th. I have marked on there. So then I just go in and just put X's on here. Usually I will use a black one or something more prominent. So you'll see here. So usually on Saturdays I do 2 a day. 1 in the afternoon, 1 in the evening. And that indicates that I have one of those, I have the afternoon open. But then of course I'm going to plan and be like, okay, my 1 in the afternoon is in Joplin. If they're all the way down like in Fayetteville, Arkansas or something, I might not be able to make it in time. So I do look at my date book for that to see exactly where it is. And you can put like Joplin, Missouri or whatever the city it is that you're in there. And then of course here I have a big red X on here. That is also Easter weekend. I'm not going to do a party on Easter weekend. More than likely, neither will the guests, but that's also, I'm going to consider my family day, so it's a non-negotiable date. So this is how I work and manage my schedule. And any dates, like I said, there's games and whatnot, I will put an X on there so that way they don't, X on there so that way the date's already filled or booked, or I already have a previous party and whatnot in there. So, but this is how kids are home. This is how I manage my date book for that, and hopefully that you will do the same so that way you can schedule your calendar. Thanks, ta-ta.